Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah. Can I make you move now? Yes, I can. So you can get this move in a bag of a can. I can make it round the world when the holes in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. The Popcorn World. Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. NOIZ, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother NOIZ, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle NOIZ, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
Yo, good people of NOIZ and beyond. We are here We got so much to talk about. That's you. That's all you. Let you straighten that out. I think your speakers are up too loud. I was thinking about this. Turn your speakers down. Let's see if that fixes the problem. In the meantime, I'm gonna open up the church. We need some church music today. White organist, if you don't mind, sir. My brother. And I ain't really kid y'all. Blacks are a little upset. They're not happy. So tonight we're gonna talk to the blacks. We can figure this thing out together. This ain't even a church service so much as it is a family meeting. So let's just figure this out together. So people can start feeling better about themselves. What we don't need in the black community right now is all this tension and all this frustration. Okay? Let's come together. Let's work together. Let's be together. Talkin NOIZ. Thank you. Thank you, White Organist. Yeah, White Organist came in a little frustrated today. He don't normally come in frustrated. Like he'll come in, busy from his day or something, but he don't come in like frustrated. Rough, man. Rough. Turn your mic volume down. Let's see if that does it. Hey, Al B, it's good to see you, brother. Al B's in the house. I'm in the house. While they are getting adjusted and whatnot, we do have some church announcements.
I adjusted.
Okay, that's a little better. That's definitely better. Let me get the church announcements real quick. As you know, tonight is the night of, in case you missed it, Monday. And y'all see what the topic is gonna be, along with other stuff. We got some other stuff, but we definitely gonna dive into this because this broke on late Saturday night, right before, actually not even right before the show. While we were on the show, doing our thing with Uncorked Wine and that egregious tragedy of the top 10 show black sitcoms of all time, this happened. So two things went down that was egregious. Yeah, so we're talking about that. Wednesday, the 5 is back, y'all. And they're going to give their opinion on it along with the college football playoffs and the NFL and the NBA. So a lot to discuss there on the 5. And then, of course, that's the wrong banner for Believe in the ACC. Believe y'all got to get the right banner. Send over the production. Send over the right banner. That's the wrong banner. I don't know how production messed that up. It's the Believe Awards. Send the one with the Believe Awards. There we go. That's it. Yes, the 3rd annual Believe in the ACC Awards is this coming Thursday. And so we're going to give out all our awards and talk about some other stuff, the transfers, the playoffs, all that good stuff. So please govern yourselves accordingly. Mama NOIZ, how you feel?
Am I okay?
Yes, there's a slight little echo, but it's not bad. I'll take that over to what you had before all day, every day.
Okay. I'm well.
I think your microphone is up too high. We're going to do this in real time. What is your microphone set to?
And
Noise makers, y'all help Mama NOIZ. We're going to get this right.
I see where it says speaker and output.
Okay, you see it there? It says microphone.
Front microphone.
Yes. Turn that down. Let's see if we can turn that down.
Can you hear me now?
Turn it up a little bit more.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Let's see. What is it set to? About medium?
About halfway mark.
That's where you need to keep it always. That sounds pretty good. All right,
Okay.
give Mama Noise a hand, everybody. Mama Noise. Mama Noise.
Oh my gosh, stop it.
All right. So you said you are well?
I am well. Yes, I'm well.
I like well. I like
I'm
well.
well because I don't like to bring up stuff and you be like, that wasn't on the program.
Well, listen, we're gonna get to the program. Just hold on, Slappy. Goodness gracious, you be jumping.
Pastor, can I be on program?
That's what it sounds like. You sound like that when you be jumping in.
You put my name on the program.
My name on the program. It's my daddy. It's my daddy.
I just got a few words. Can I have a few words on program? Oh my gosh.
All right. What is it that you want to talk about? What is it you want to talk about?
Oh, I was just going to talk about Charlie Ward's documentary, but I guess y'all going to talk about that.
Well, that's actually going down right now.
Yeah, I know. I know. I said, well, maybe y'all going to talk about it on Thursday.
We are definitely going to talk about it on Thursday, but I got to see it. But I'm DVRing it, and I suggest if you near your TV and you got the ACC network, you DVR it as well. It's called.
Yeah, I was just going to suggest to the noisemakers to watch.
I was letting them know the name. Let me.
Oh, okay.
You can't pause around a Zeta. A Zeta going to take your pause. That ain't a thing to snap. That's not a compliment.
That is a fact.
That is not a compliment, though.
Is it?
As I was about to say, the documentary is called Twice as Nice. And so it's on right now on the ACC network. So it's going to show again tonight at I think 11 p.m. 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern. So if you're not busy, go on and set the DVR so you can watch us and then go back and watch that later like I'm going to do. So there you go. You see the shirt the Bishop sent over to me? Bishop has just been taking care of your boy because I'm supportive. He knows how supportive I am. So he sent me a nice Juicy Smouye shirt. Y'all like that? And by the way, for those of you who don't know, Juicy Smouye is a very, very famous French actor who got in a little hot water because he was on a show called Empire. So
oh my gosh.
Shout out to Juicy Smouye. Juicy, got him crazy.
No.
All right.
I don't know why you said the Bishop sent that over to you personally. I'm just saying.
What? Don't hate me because me and the Bishop were close. Me and the Bishop was like this, son.
Hey, Catherine.
Hey, Catherine. That's cousin. What's going on? Canada in the building.
Canada.
All right. Man, we got so much to discuss and get into. And we will here in just un momento. Un momento. But we just want to, we're taking our time and giving everybody a moment to get settled. You know, some people got, you know, when you come to the church, you gotta get settled in your pew. You gotta get comfortable. You gotta get your Bible set or your tablet. A lot of people use tablets in the modern churches. They don't even use paper Bibles no more. You know, so it's just, you know, just takes a second. I need some water. Definitely need some water.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Dion, did I say hey?
Delicioso.
Dion be keeping us on point about all the new movies and stuff.
Dion? It's because Dion is he's down with this noise life. That's all that is.
I mean, because it's so much stuff.
We need to. Should we sing a devotional song? I feel better, so much better since I laid my burden down. You know what? You know who needs a devotion? Kevin Cosby. He needs to sing devotions tonight.
Oh, wow.
Sings his whole soul. His soul ain't right.
He bared it all.
Well, he
to tell us how he really felt.
I don't know if he bared it all, but he did bear his dumb. I mean,
he told us how he really felt. You can't bear much more than that.
I ain't saying he buried it all, but he definitely buried his dumb ass. He buried his dumb ass.
Well,
so we're gonna get to that here in just a minute. We're gonna get to that in just a second. I want to. I guess we can start, Mama Noise, right at the top of the breaking news. There's a lot of stuff going on. I know the runoff is tomorrow, and people want to know what's going to happen with the runoff, and people want to know what's going to happen with this and that. But that ain't what Black America been talking about all the last 24 hours. 24
No,
hours.
that's not what Black America is talking about.
That is not what Black America's been talking about. There's been only one subject and one subject only that Black America has been discussing. That is it. It is at the top of every Black America list on the planet. And they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. So let's show you 1,000,000 words. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Coach Prime in Colorado, and he is taking a tour of his new facility. That's his baby. That's his new boo. Well, not new boo. They've been together for a long time. What's her name? Is that Tracy Edmonds? Is that her name?
Yeah, that's Babyface ex-wife.
Babyface ex-wife. Yeah, and she's just smiling like she said, "Oh, I am so happy to be here." There's Shador, or what I like to call him, the new starting quarterback. There's the new. I guess she's going to play ball in Colorado. That's the daughter. She looks just like her daddy too. She don't look nothing like Pilar.
That's Pilar daughter?
Yeah.
I forgot they had kids together.
Yeah, they got a bunch of kids together. So
okay.
So there they are, and they got the he's walking through the facility and seeing it. That was the workout areas. And now he headed on over to the meeting room. We about to be at the meeting with all the saints. Come on.
Oh, this is the sanctuary right here.
Yeah, that's the sanctuary. That's where he's gonna be preaching his messages.
That's right.
Matter of fact, I want to say he said something about that here. Can y'all hear this? Can y'all hear it?
No.
Okay, hold on. Let me pause it. Let me take it out. Hold on. And then bring it back so you can hear the sound. Because I didn't really hit the sound. So you can hear it. There you go. Now you can hear the sound. You should be able to hear the sound.
Well, his speech is crazy. So we're about to preach in well, he's about to be preaching
Yeah. He said he's gonna bring an organist in. He can borrow right organist for the right price. I mean, you know. So this is what happened. Now, the irony of this video. Now, here's the part of the video that is probably the most significant portion of the video, and maybe the real reason why he did this.
Okay.
This is the linebackers meeting room.
Movable seating.
Coach Hart. That's the linebackers coach right there.
Listen up,
Okay. Can we keep it a buck?
Yeah, let's go.
This room looks like where Sunday school is taught.
Well, that's what the linebacker room is. It's not the main room. It's like the side room where they have the side classes. You don't have all the members of the church in that room, Kieta. It's just a few members. The linebackers. That's why they call it.
I understand it. I'm just saying the big room looks like the main sanctuary, and then this one looks like Sunday school is.
That's what it is. So there it is. So that's what went down Saturday night. In case y'all don't understand what we're talking about, I'm sure you do by now. Mr. Deion Sanders accepted the position of head coach at the universities. Now, wait a minute now, cuz you can't do that now. We setting the stage at the universities of Colorado. Now, I
didn't go off screen because
okay, all right, okay. So now some people were thrilled at that. Other people decided to show their whole entire ass. And the pastor, Kevin Cosby of the St. Stephen's Baptist Church in Louisville, Kentucky, had this to say on his Twitter account or Instagram. He said, and I quote, "I want Dion to fail." And by the way, Dion is spelled with an I. HBCUs are for the black masses, and Colorado is for the black classes. Carter G. Woodson has a whole chapter in The Miseducation of the Negro on black professionals leaving black institutions. He said this is a classic example of miseducation. Now, if you thought that he wasn't serious about his comments, ladies and gentlemen, he doubled down and went and decided to get into a back and forth on the Facebooks and the Twitters and the Instagrams with some of the peoples that was out here in the streets. Give me a second. The internet is moving like the internet moves. Okay. He decided to double down and triple down and give all of his feelings. So he started with that. Then he said he responded to somebody, and somebody said wanting him to fail is crazy. He said anyone or anything that diminishes black institutions, I want it to fail. And then he said, I wonder if white Americans are responsible for themselves when they get FHA and veteran benefits that blacks were excluded from. And Roosevelt and Truman gave them a deal and a fair deal while black America got a raw deal. We are dealing with the consequences of the missed deal today. And he said Jackson State experienced an artificial bump because of the Dion star power. And once again, Dion is spelled with an I. HBCUs are sanctioned more than anyone by SACS accreditation because of the lack of resources for sustainability. And HBCUs, like Black America as a whole, need and deserve reparations. I want all forms of white supremacy to fail. Colorado using their power and wealth to extract from an HBCU the little we got is a classic case of white power domination, and I want it to fail. And then Twitter lit his ass up. And so then he decided to issue an official statement. And the official statement went something like this. And I'm not reading the whole thing because the issue is long. He said recently on Twitter, I made the comment that I hope Dion said, there's the I. Dion Sanders fails is in his move from HBCU Jackson State University to the University of Colorado Boulder. My statement was not intended to disparage or to wish ill will upon Dion on a personal level. Not really sure how you can say that when you literally said you wanted the man to fail. When I said I hope he fails, I was using he in the plural sense, not in the singular. Then the he I was referring to is the entire system of inequity that prevents black institutions such HBCUs from competing with predominantly white institutions. I know from personal experience the impact that the Dion effect has upon HBCUs. I am blessed to be the only president in American history to restore an HBCU from the ground up. Let's see. When Dion told his players in his farewell address that coaches were either terminated or elevated, such language buys into the notion that leaving predominantly black space in work in predominantly white spaces is an elevation. That's not what he said, but let's move on. Such language, it reinforces the myth of white supremacy and black inferiority. And even if Dion meant that the elevation to Colorado is a financial and visibility elevation for him, that begs the question, why can't black institutions experience the same type of elevation? And the answer lies in the resource and wealth disparity that exists between the black and white community. Then he decided to educate us on the things that we didn't know. Black people are 13% of the population, but possess less than 3% of the wealth in the United States. White Americans are 60% of the population and control 90% of the wealth. We're not going to read all that because that's a lot. Then he talks about Jim Crow. Then he says, as a black man who lived my entire adult life in the poorest black community, and you have not lived your entire adult life in the poorest black community. But it goes on and goes on and goes on. But you get the gist. So there you go. So that was his apology. So now there are many who feel in alignment with Reverend Kevin Cosby and some that don't. But here we are to talk about it. This is a safe space, so people feel free to say what you feel in this space. We are here. We are ready. Let's go. Now, I think it is only fitting that we start this conversation with the one person that this probably affected the most. which is our resident Mississippian, Cuz Noise. So, Cuz, take it away. You muted, sir. You muted. You muted. You got to unmute so the people can hear what you got to say.
Are you messing by design?
I'm not messy. I'm trying to set the stage, man.
What the waka flocka are you trying to do here?
I'm trying to set the stage for a wonderful discussion.
Jackson State affected me. I'm neither poor nor am I in Mississippi.
Well,
Why would you think
know your affinity and affection for
It was a messy ass statement. Now let me say what I got to say.
Okay, well, just say that then, and leave all the other shit you were saying. Ooh, man, somebody came in a little hostile, but it's fine.
I would never wish anyone failure. You can take me off the screen like that. That's not necessary either.
Why would you try to give you?
I would never wish failure to anyone. In fact, I wish the man success. As a black man, as a coach, I hope and pray that he succeeds.
Oh, because Ron said I misinterpreted what you were trying to say earlier, thus earning myself the new drop. So I think he's probably right.
Got me fucked up. Got me fucked up.
There you go. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Having said that, I believe what he did was problematic, wrong, and it will have an impact on HBCUs for a long time to come. Because you did not sell Jackson State on just championships. Jackson State hadn't won a championship in quite some time, but they've won them before. So you coming to Jackson was not just about championship. You made the statement to Jackson and to Jackson State and to black people as a whole that I'm going to change the game, that I'm going to make sure that HBCUs are now looked upon as possibilities for our young black men coming out of high school to go to HBCUs to get exposure and not have to run to the white schools for exposure. Go to HBCUs for top facilities and money and not have to run to white schools for top facilities and money. Mm-hmm. In other words, you saw a problem, and the problem exists then and it exists now. You saw a problem, and you told us that the Lord, your God, sent you to solve the problem.
That's what he said.
So therefore, we then buy into that you are here not just for Jackson State. See what Deion Sanders had. He had fans of black people from Grambling, Jackson State, Alcorn, Mississippi Valley State, Alabama. It didn't matter. Black people all over were seeing what he was doing and hopeful that he would stay long enough to see it through, that it would affect all of our HBCUs. Because that's really what we bought into, that young blacks could come to black schools and get scholarships. Young black can come to black schools and go into the NFL, and they don't have to run to the white. And now we're going to make the white schools look at our black youth differently. That was really the whole. It was never about 2 championships. Who gives a fuck about 2 championships when there was a movement to change the game? 5 years from now, when we come back to 2021 and we look back to 2022, and somebody asks you who won the championship in 2021 SWAC and who won the championship in 2022 SWAC, nobody will give a damn. So the goal was not championships.
True.
The goal was to change the game for our people. And you can't change a game that's been in place for 50 years in 2 years.
Well, now he has a response for you now, cuz. Would you like to hear that response?
I want to hear your response. I don't give a damn what he has to say.
Well, I think it's
He's
only
already
fair.
done what he's had to do.
Well, hold on now.
I
Hold on.
understand.
I would like the man to have an opportunity to speak on his own behalf. So let's let him speak on his own behalf. Here we go.
You've made a tremendous impact in the HBCUs. I guess how difficult was the decision to leave what you started there?
Tremendous. Because it wasn't about the X's and O's or the wins and losses. It was about those kids. It was about looking at the faces of those kids, knowing that I'm being ready. God is getting ready to elevate me. I'm sorry. God is getting ready to elevate me. Usually a coach is terminated or elevated. Thank God I'm elevated. But still, the journey is not complete. Some of the things that we accomplished there about bringing understanding and notoriety to certain falsities or non-committal things that are done at Power Fives. Maybe God is using me to be a catalyst to make you think and to make you just fathom another way to make us feel unthreatened when someone of other ethnicity is approaching. To just make us feel good about today. Maybe God is really using me to open doors at this level. The thing that alarms me the most is just because I'm leaving Jackson, they think that I'm leaving African American. I don't know if you notice or not, but I'm black. I can never leave who I am, what I am, and how I go about being that. So it's still my task looking at that locker room and see 65 to 70% of African American men trying to help them get to the next level, as well as all the others. My calling is for young men, young women, and people of all walks of life, all social climates, and all ethnicities. That's my calling. My calling is not built on a location. It's built on a destination. Now that was good. You're supposed to clap for that. All right, that was good. You can get some of my good stuff. We just getting started. I already went in the bag, baby. Let's go.
So that's his response to what you and many others have said, that he didn't finish the job.
I couldn't the echo was too strong. Did you guys hear the echo? No?
You guys heard that? It was slight echo.
Didn't allow him to come through clearly.
Okay. Well, basically, he said his calling is God has elevated him, because in this game, you either elevated or terminated. And God has now elevated him, and his calling is still to black kids, the 60% black kids at Colorado, and all the kids at Colorado, to help them get to the next level as well. But he's still black, and the mission is not complete, is what he said.
If anyone questioned his blackness, they are fools. See,
and they have.
I don't hate on Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
I don't call into question his commitment to youth. He has proven that for many, many years.
Yeah.
That he's committed to black youth in particular.
Very much so. And both of us having lived in Texas and watched him mentor young kids in Texas for years. With these very same coaches. We would never question that. No. There's a couple of different things that have happened here. And since you asked my opinion, I'll go ahead and start.
It's about time. It's about time.
It's about time. The first thing I'm going to say is to our African American community, y'all are idiots. Some of y'all are idiots. And the reason why I say that is because No. You said you want me to talk? Let me talk.
Hold now. You sound like Ricky Smiley or some goddamn body. What do you mean?
I need you to be quiet. Let me finish, sir. Thank you.
You said y'all idiots.
I said some of y'all. Some idiot. And here's what I mean. And I'm speaking specifically to everybody who's calling him a sellout and the Uncle Tom and all the other little Y'all don't understand. First of all, that's too far. That's way too far. That man has done more for African American youth and African American men and women in the last 5 years than some of y'all have ever done in your whole entire life. So what we're not going to do is go to the extreme with this. Now, if you feel a way about him leaving Jackson State, that's fair. But the name calling and the calling him out on Twitter and Instagram, that's too far. And we got to stop doing the dumb stuff. Let me also address Kevin Cosby directly. And it doesn't matter to me if somebody want to go back and tell him, hey, he's more than welcome to come to this platform and have a discussion with us. But you went too far, sir. To say that you hope that man fails, and then you try to walk it back with an official statement, no, way too far. Way over the line. Way over the line. That's too far. And unnecessary. You can address, if you want to address white institutions coming in and snatching the black man away, that's fine. That's fair. But to say that you want this man to fail because you in your feelings, too far. Now, to the specifics of the circumstances at hand. I am disappointed that he left, but not necessarily for the exact same reason that everybody else is. I'm disappointed because I thought and still think that HBCUs are in a moment that change can take place. I'm of the opinion that we had the opportunity, and by the way, I still think we have the opportunity to not wait on somebody to rescue our situation as it relates to HBCUs, but to rescue our own situation as HBCUs. And while it would have been nice to see Dion take the lead with that because he was already in position and already had built the momentum and already doing great things at that institution and for all HBCUs as a whole, the whole plan is still not lost. It's only lost if you only see him as the only savior of this situation. And here's the other part, and this is where it's going to get a little tight for some of y'all. Black people, we have to stop looking for Martin Luther King still, because I've had time to think about this now. We have to stop looking for the next Martin Luther King. That's not what we need. What we need is to stand up together, come together, and start planning and changing things together. The MEAC could easily have a meeting this evening with the SPAC and say, hey, man, how can we make our situation better than this? I heard some numbers today, cuz. And I said to myself, Self, and Self said, huh, what you talking about? What you talking? And I said, Self, I wonder how much could individual millionaire black people donate to HBCUs on a yearly or every other year basis and it not really truly effective. I said if at minimum, because there's about what we're talking MEAC and SWAC, what are we talking? Maybe 20 teams total, maybe. You muted out.
I said if that.
If that, right? So why couldn't a couple of our well-to-do or us in general, as general population, come together and let's see how we could get them $1 million for all the school. We're only talking about 20 million at best to help upgrade some of those facilities right now. Then let's see those two conferences come together, because there's really no logical reason why the SWAC and the MEAC are not together, other than blind tradition. Put those two entities together. Let's create a commissioner for the whole thing, and then let's go after improvements as a whole to those conferences and upgrade those facilities. Bring in somebody with a cachet that can help bring in the money, like maybe a Shaquille O'Neal. Thought about that. I said, man, Shaquille's already got a lot of those corporate relationships in place already. So it'd be a natural transition if it'd be something that he'd be interested in doing, for him to step into that role or to be a part of a board of directors that would aid the SWAC and the MEAC to come together and change their lot in life. My point is very simple. This does not have to be the end. It could be the start of something great. But am I disappointed that Dion is not going to be a part of it? Yes, I am. That's my thoughts. Mama Noise,
what you got?
Al B.
I'll go. And I am neither a member of St. Stephen's Christian Church.
The Christian Church was Baptist. I'm sorry.
Nor they used to.
Okay.
Nor do I know Dr. Kevin Cosby personally. But what I do know of him is he is a very caring individual, especially when it comes to HBCUs, because he is the president of the oldest HBCU in the state of Kentucky, which is Simmons College of Kentucky. And he did revitalize that institution, where so many of our HBCUs are struggling, have one foot on a banana peel and the other in the grave. So too was Simmons. So I can understand his personal attachment to the HBCUs and how he feels betrayed by Deion Sanders and his decision to leave the HBCUs and go toward a PWI, especially after us as a people have listened for the last 36 months how important it is for young Black men and young Black women athletes to consider HBCUs.
Yeah.
He convinced the #1 recruit in the nation to come to an HBCU over a Power 5 or PWI institution. And I suspect here in the next 24 to 48 hours, we'll see that young man on the cover of a Twitter page with a Colorado University logo and everything else. May be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I commend Deion Sanders for accepting a better offer. It's definitely better financially. I don't know how it is professionally. I mean, they are a 1-11 team, have not been relevant since 2001, 2002. However, his promise was for us to do this thing collectively. And we feel like he was the captain of the ship. And he led us out on a voyage. And he knew the journey, the directions that this ship was going to go. And then he jumped ship. And now we are left trying to figure out how to get this thing back on course. Can it be done? Absolutely. Is it likely to take much, much, much longer now? Absolutely. So I understand people's anger personally. I don't understand how they could be angry for him making that decision professionally. I even have a relative who posted on her Facebook page that he is establishing generational wealth for his family. But that's not what you went in the living room and told these parents of these young, talented Black athletes. Yes, if your son goes to Alabama, he's probably going to be set financially more so than he would if he comes to Jackson State. That's what he told. That's not what he told those families. He told them, let me groom your child. I'll get him there because it's going to mean more to the community, to the culture, and I feel like we were betrayed. And what we have to do is stop. Please, please, please stop putting men of God, pastors, preachers, bishops. Stop putting them up on a pedestal. They are not infallible. They are not perfect beings. They are humans. They have emotions just like we do. Now, does it do the ministry a disservice to exemplify that? Absolutely. But it's no different than preacher out, or man of God out screwing all the women in the church. You know, it's unfortunate that he let his emotions get out in front of him. I don't fault him for what he said because I know that he has a deep, deep, deep emotional tie to HBCUs. And I know not directly, but someone who knows directly the financial sacrifices that he's personally made to help save Simmons and Kentucky State University. So I understand his hurt, his feelings of betrayal. It's unfortunate that he chose the words that he did.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I feel the same way like I do with every coach that leaves the University of Louisville.
Right.
I don't wish them success at their next endeavor. You know, I don't want them to fall ill and not be able to coach. But I didn't want to see Texas go undefeated and win a national championship.
Right.
So, but that's me as a fan, as a person. So, but I don't wish Deion failure. I just wish that he would have endured a little bit more. And for him to say that coaching, you're either elevated or terminated, that's not true.
It's a lie.
It's not true at all. No, you will probably never see another Eddie Robinson. But there are Dabo Sweeneys out there. There are 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year. That's just in football. Look at Jim Boeheim at Syracuse in basketball. So, you know, you can have long careers in coaching. So,
Mama Noah.
I'm sorry, I was.
No, that was great, Al. That was fantastic. Fantastic. That was fantastic.
I was very disappointed because I felt like with him doing the things that he was doing at Jackson State, it was spearheading a movement. And, you know, dare I say that him being at Jackson State influenced, is it Eddie George?
Yeah. Over at TSU.
Over at TSU.
State. Yeah.
You know, to take a step of faith and, you know, become a coach there. And then I was thinking, wow, how many other coaches that are, or players that have coached or had the desire to coach, and they could just as easily be in the NFL, would take a step of faith and be football coaches or basketball coaches for these HBCUs that are trying to be dinosaurs. They're trying to, you know, every time you hear before Deion was at Jackson State, all you kept hearing about was the negative stuff about HBCUs in the news. I mean, they were talking about the rats and roaches and stuff down at what was it, Howard or one of the schools, Howard or Morehouse, one of them, and how the housing was so bad, the students were sleeping outside. I mean, come on. That's what we heard about HBCUs. And then when the kids are trying to decide where they want to go, that's what they have to reference. Their reference point is the stuff they hear in the news about how bad it is or how bad a shape these schools are in, that they're falling apart and stuff. Come on. I really felt like in my heart of hearts, it made me, I was so disappointed because, I mean, I get it. I get it because somebody on Facebook put a post up talking about half of y'all, if you got a $5 raise, would leave the job you own to go get that job for the $5 increase, or some job you were offered and they offered you a bonus or something, a sign-on bonus, you would walk away from your job without a second thought. But I'm like, this is not that. This, to me, I felt like was a movement that was going to inspire. And it was inspiring. Like I said about the Eddie George part, inspired him. And no telling how many others was on deck to be inspired to step forward and be the next coach for the different HBCU football teams and basketball teams. It's just sports. And I feel like he just pulled the plug and said, you know, they offer me more. And I mean, I get it. You know, they offered you more. This is a big step for you. But I just don't feel like, from all the different interviews I heard, and maybe I didn't hear them all, but it sounded like you kept saying, you know, I ain't going nowhere. And, you know, you kept misleading people that, you know, ain't nothing wrong with listening and stuff. And I hear that, but it didn't sound like you were trying to entertain it. You listened, but you wasn't really trying to, no action was really going to happen from all of your people trying to offer you money or offer you things to come to their school or whatever. It sounded like you were just totally committed. And I felt like you influenced a city, man. You was walking around in the community and stuff. People believe in you. You got the, you know, when they start having water problems, don't tell me how long that water problem would have still kept going on, but you dug your boots, you know, your heels in and help move that along to help change something, and let's change this and change that. And I work with the mayor so we could change. And then it's like, oh, I did all that. I'm glad y'all saw the example. I hope it was a blueprint. I'm out. I just feel disappointed. That's all. I don't wish ill will. I'm not trying to say all that negative stuff like that. I don't want that. But I feel for the community. I feel for all of the fans. I feel for the players that got left behind that were like, they couldn't just jump in the tunnel or the portal. They couldn't just jump in the portal or whatever, and didn't have the means to be able to say, well, I'm gonna follow you, coach, or whatever. Like they didn't have that. You just left. So I feel disappointed.
That's fair.
And might I add, you know, because I did listen to Ricky Smiley this morning, and he's supposed to be releasing, I guess he's got some sort of spinoff of his show, Unleashed or something like that. And he's going to discuss in greater detail. But he said this morning.
He did already.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Who is it? Dion had something?
Ricky Smiley.
Ricky Smiley.
Oh, I haven't heard it. Okay.
During his show this morning, he said that did Jackson State make him a counter offer? Did anybody, the chancellor, anybody in the SWAC, make him a counter offer?
Well,
we all knew going in that there was nothing financially they could do to compete
right
with a PWI, a Power 5. We knew that going in. And Mr. Primetime himself, for the first 26, 28 months of his tenure at Jackson State, said it's not about the money. It was never about the money.
Right.
And it wasn't until here recently in the last 6 months that he started that spin about I'd be a fool not to entertain, because we were convinced that this was an assignment
from the Lord.
God, quote, end quote.
That's what he said.
So
And
it's not about. It wasn't about the money, because everybody with any common sense knew that not only Jackson State, but the SWAC in its entirety couldn't compete financially with any contract that Power 5 school could offer him.
And the money argument to me is mute. It's a foolish argument because Deion Sanders' salary was not coming just from Jackson State. So he was making money outside of the $300,000 that Jackson State was paying him. Deion Sanders has been making money, as he says proudly, I've been making money for a long time.
Right.
My lifestyle's not going to change no matter where I go.
Yeah.
If you feel so, I mean, you sold us on all this. You told us all this. That I already got it. I'm here to help.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once you convince Black people that you're here to help, then they're gonna hold you to that because they have been so. It's my hometown. I can say what the hell I want to say. They've been so depressed. Not about winning Jackson State, but about hope.
Just in general.
Leaving.
Yeah.
About seeing a pathway out of where they are. He was bringing hope. So when you take away hope, then you're going to get an emotional response from people. Now, everybody that's spitting on social media and saying what they're saying, the hatred and their vitriol, don't really mean it, but they have been emotionally impacted. Because he literally pulled the rug from under them.
Yeah. If there was a mistake, and I think there was, I think the biggest mistake was the Lord said rhetoric. You can't say that to Black people and we don't take that serious. When you say the Lord said to us,
facts.
We take that very seriously. Like, listen, remember that commercial, E.F. Hutton? The Lord said is the equivalent of E.F. Hutton.
Facts.
The Lord said, we all in now. We want to hear what the Lord said because we're leaning, as the old song, we leaning on the Lord anyhow because we believe that's our only way out. So the problem with what he said is that you positioned yourself as a savior when you probably did not have that aspect of it completely figured out yourself. Probably should have done that. And I think he will look back at that as a failure because that part is a failure for sure.
Just look at the fact that most of you on this here podcast didn't even know who in the hell Jackson State was.
Yeah, I always got it confused with Jacksonville State.
Some of you niggas on here, I said it just the way I wanted to say it, would say Jacksonville State.
Right.
What the hell is Jacksonville State?
That's another school.
He brought attention where there was nothing but darkness. Now, I'm saying that just the way I'm saying it, and it's real.
Yeah. And that's a problem.
Dark clouds over that city. And he brought hope. And then to take $5 million and leave, but then come up with this bullshit about you still gonna help.